Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. For those of you that have been with the channel some time, you'll know I'll never be without my retinoid as part of a core anti-aging skincare routine. I've been using retinoids and vitamin A derivatives for years, and I've got some great benefits when it comes to boosting collagen and elastin production, minimizing fine lines and wrinkles. It's also a great way of fading hyperpigmentation, as retinoids actually increase the rate of cell turnover, eradicating that excess pigment quicker. However, there are so many different forms of retinoids. We've got retinol, retinal, we've got retinol esters, and it can become really difficult to know which is the right one for you. Well, over the past 12 months, I've really started to focus down on retinal as my own preferred retinoid. Studies show that it's actually much more gentle on the skin than other over-the-counter options, less redness and sensitivity. It also goes through fewer conversions to get to the retinoic acid needed by our skin to deliver all that great anti-aging benefit. So it packs a punch, particularly when compared to traditional retinol. For this reason that I always recommend retinal products, and there's 3 on the market that seem to get the most hype. All of these have the same strength retinal in them. However, strength is only one component. In this video, I want to put them against each other head to head to work out what is truly the best of the best when it comes to an anti-aging retinal. Sit back, relax, let's discover the world's best retinal serum. Now, before we get into this video, I would love to know what your thoughts are on any of these 3 products. Have you used them in your skincare routine? What outcomes did you get? Sound off in the comments section below. If you'd like to see more of this style of content, head to head, putting different price points, different products against each other to work out what's the best when it comes to our own skincare routines, let me know by reaching down and giving this video a thumbs up and a like. This is honestly the best way of supporting me as a content creator, because the more likes a video gets, the more widely YouTube distributes it on its platform. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you all so much. Now, without further ado, let's cut that waffle and delve straight on in. So for the purposes of today's battle, these 3 products are the Medik8 Crystal Retinal 10, we've got the Avene Physiolift Night, and we've got the Geek Gorgeous A Game 10. These all pack a powerful punch of that retinal, wonderful anti-aging skincare serums in their own right. However, they come with different price points, they've got different base formulations, they've got different claims and counterclaims, which is why I want to put them against each other to work out the best of the best when it comes to these 3. We're going to be using 4 categories to determine this, and each of these categories will be awarded a point out of 10. First, we're going to be price point. Are you getting value for money? If they're charging a higher price point, are you getting more for that additional coin you need to invest? We're then going to come on to application. How does it feel on the skin? Is it a joy to use, and do you get any additional benefits? We'll then move on to formulation. What do you get alongside that retinal that makes it so special? Then finally, we're going to come on to outcomes. A product is only as good as the outcomes it delivers, and I've tried all of these on a consistent basis in my skincare routine, so I can let you know the benefits that I enjoyed. So going through this in no particular order, let's start off with the Medik8 Crystal Retinal 10. They actually do various different strengths of this, going up in increments when it comes to that retinal concentration. There is one, the Crystal Retinal 20, which is actually double the potency of this. I've not incorporated that option in this video because I want to do a fair side-by-side comparison in terms of strength. So let's kick things off with price. Here in the UK, this actually retails at around £100. That's going to be somewhere in the region of $120. That is bougie, and it is up there when it comes to price point. I do think you get a little bit more when it comes to the formulation I'm going to come on to in a minute. So I don't mind paying a little bit more, but £100, that does seem a little bit excessive, particularly when we have cheaper options on the market. For this reason, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 for price. It is up there, but you are getting a little bit more by paying a little bit more. I just don't think it justifies that high price point. And if this was somewhere in the region of, say, £65 or £70, I think this would be scoring relatively higher in this category. But yeah, 5 out of 10 when it comes to price. When it comes to formulation, perfection. 10 out of 10. I love the technology that's gone into this. So it's encapsulated, which means you're much less likely to get some irritation and sensitivity with the retinal in here versus some of the other options. It's packed full of humectants, of hydrators, of oils. This is really going to nourish the skin, minimizing further the risk of any dryness. With this, you're practically guaranteed to have actually more hydrated skin after using it than before you did, which is pretty unheard of when it comes to a retinoid. So for this reason and the technology they've used, that this scores so highly in this category. And yeah, from the formulation point, it's really hard to beat this, which is why I wasn't as harsh on the price scoring, because I think you're definitely getting something more in that formulation. For application, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. So you have got some colorants and you have got some fragrance in here. I actually don't mind fragrance in my skincare routine. I find it uplifting. It's definitely, the sensorial is really important to me. However, a lot of people will avoid fragrance, particularly in potentially irritating ingredients such as retinoids. So definitely bear that in mind. If you're sensitive to fragrance, this won't be for you. But for everyone else, I actually do really like the scent. In terms of how it goes on, it glides so well. You get that instant nourishment, you get that hydration, sinks in so well. And the key thing here is you only need a small amount of a retinoid, so you need a product that's going to spread evenly across the skin, and this it definitely does. So easy to use, and the only reason I'm knocking some marks off is for that fragrance, and also for the fact that the colour of it does tend to stain, be it your pillows, your hairline. You do kind of need to be a little bit careful of that, which does knock a point off further. But yeah, 8 out of 10 when it comes to application. And outcomes, 9 out of 10. Honestly, this is so good. You get really speedy results with this. If you're happy to pay Medik8 prices, this gives you ridiculously quick results in terms of boosting cell turnover, minimizing fine lines and wrinkles by boosting collagen. It just doesn't get better than this. So the total score for the Medik8 Crystal Retinal 10 is 32 out of 40. Ridiculously high score, and we are off to such a strong start. Now, second, let's come on to this product, which is the Avene Physiolift Night. I'm going to leave images of the products here because you might not always be able to see when I'm holding them, waving them frantically in my hand. So there will be an image alongside each and every one. This is called the Physiolift Night here in Europe. If you're shopping this in the US, it's called the RETINAL Serum. Exact same formulation, so it's like a like for like. They've just changed the name for some reason. I think just to confuse us, but it's the exact same formulation. So in here, you've got a comparable quantity of retinal as with the Medik8 and as with the Geek and Gorgeous that I'm going to come on to in a minute. This is a product that claims to be really gentle on the skin, again harnessing some technology to minimize irritation, and they say that this is going to hydrate alongside giving you that great anti-aging benefit. So when it comes to the scoring, in terms of price, I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. Now this is a lot cheaper than the Medik8, but the reason I'm knocking some points off in terms of price is they have a wildly different pricing strategy depending where in the world you shop. Even taking into account currency conversions, there's no real carry across. So in Europe, this is a relatively affordable product, especially when you compare it to some of its retinal competitors. In the UK, it's much more expensive. In the States, it depends where you shop as to what price point you're going to get. And I think the fact that you've got such a varied amount of different price points makes it a little bit confusing for the consumer. It is cheaper than the Medik8 practically everywhere. So definitely if you're looking to reduce the cost of your retinal, this could be a really great option. When it comes to formulation, again, 8 out of 10. It's got some calming and soothing ingredients alongside that retinal, which I like. This is definitely hydrating, it's nourishing, and the way that they formulated it will further reduce any risk of side effects and irritation. Very similar to that Medik8 product earlier. This does, however, have quite a significant amount of fragrance in, more so than with the Medik8. It's definitely more pungent, and I'll come on to that when I talk about application. So a couple of marks off for that, and also I am knocking for the formulation. There is no encapsulation technology used here like with the Medik8, and because we're comparing side by side, took a further mark off for that. But I think an 8 out of 10 is a really fair reflection of the formulation you're getting in this one. Application, 8 out of 10 again. This is a much lighter colour. I love the pump. Easy to dispense. In fact, this is probably one of my favourite pumps on any skincare product I've ever tried. Really easy to use. Glides onto the skin. You don't get that issue with it staining the hairline, your pillows and all of that you did with the Medik8. Definitely a tick in the box, but oh, that fragrance. It's like real like 1920s draw liners. Like, it's such an aged fragrance, and after it's sat on the skin a while, it starts to smell a little bit funky, a little bit... It's not a great scent. I don't know why they've decided to choose this particular fragrance, and it is so overwhelming, especially when you first apply it. This was a huge no for me. I'm not knocking them too many marks off because it did glide onto the skin, did hydrate, it felt really good, but I personally couldn't get over that fragrance. Finally, outcomes, again, 8 out of 10. Works relatively quickly, not as quickly as that Medik8 Crystal Retinal 10, so I'll call that out, but definitely hydrating, minimum risk of irritation. It definitely added back the hydration rather than stripping, and whilst it's not as quick as Medik8, like I said, definitely relatively high potency, packs that punch, and you don't have to wait too long to start seeing the benefits of this one. And so the grand total is going to be a 31 out of 40, scoring slightly less than the Medik8 that just went ahead, but only by 1 point, so there's not a whole lot in this. I think if they reformulated this with a better fragrance or cut the fragrance out completely, it would actually score much higher, so that's definitely something to bear in mind. Now finally, let's come on to this. This is the Geek and Gorgeous A Game 10. This is probably the product that I've got the most experience with. I've used tube after tube after tube of this, and the main reason I keep reaching for it is that price point. For this, in this category, 10 out of 10, unparalleled. The cheapest retinal at this concentration you will find on the skincare market. I honestly don't know how they do such a great formulation for such a rock bottom price. I pay around £15 for this when I shop on the Geek and Gorgeous UK store. I think it's around €14. This is just a flawless price point. Like I say, I'm genuinely surprised they can formulate a product this well for that price point, but I'm not complaining. I've used it and I've loved it in my skincare routine, so I can't really award it anything other than top scores when it comes to price. When it comes to formulation, 7 out of 10. You don't have the encapsulation that you get with, say, the Medik8 product. It's maybe not as hydrating in terms of the number of ingredients it's got than, say, the Avene one, but you see this alongside that ridiculously affordable price point, and I'm very satisfied with the formulation. This is actually fragrance free, so if you're looking to eliminate fragrance from your skincare routine, this is probably the option that I would recommend. For application, 8 out of 10. Feels good on the skin, glides on really well. This does have a slightly deeper coloration to it than the Avene one, so again, like with that Medik8, you do have to be careful around the hairline with your towels, with your sheets. Just bear that in mind. But actually the application feels really good, and it definitely leaves behind a nice amount of hydration. In terms of outcomes, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Works really quickly. You get gorgeous soft skin, definitely on the hydrating side, which I personally really enjoy. And whilst it's not hydrating enough to use instead of a moisturizer or as a retinal and moisturizer in one, I tend to just pair it with this, which is the Mad About Skin Maximum Impact Moisturizer. This is the moisturizer from my own skincare line that pairs so well with this product. Doubles down on the hydration you're going to get, calms, soothes, and I think taken together, this is going to rival the Medik8 or the one by Avene at a fraction of the cost. So altogether, this is going to get a 33 out of 40, and a drum roll please for the winner of what I consider to be the very best of the best when it comes to retinal anti-aging serums. I'm really glad that the Geek and Gorgeous actually won this head to head. There wasn't much in it, you know, it was a point here and a point there, but I think this just proves that you can absolutely do amazing and affordable anti-aging skincare at the drugstore. You don't need to overpay when Geek and Gorgeous are coming out with holy grails like this. What do you guys think? Would you have awarded a different winner? Have I forgotten one of your absolute favourite retinal serums? Let me know in the comment section below, wherever you are in the world, guys. Stay safe, stay well, love your skin. Take care. Bye!